All right, Kevin, welcome to the 2025 American League Division Series on FS1, presented by Booking.com. Well, it sure looked like the Blue Jays were going to cruise to a sweep, but then the Yankees, with their season on the line, had their stars step up, and they've got life, and we've got a Game 4. Vlad and the Jays still one win away from their first trip to the championship series in nearly a decade. But the Yankees this close to getting this back to Toronto. Joe Davis, the Hall of Famer John Smoltz, Aaron Judge with one amazing swing changed everything for himself and for the Yankees. He finally has that moment that's eluded him in October, and the Yankees have life.
Well, he's 6'7", but he's been walking around the playoffs like 6'3" with all the weight in the shoulders. Well, that just got relieved. He's 7 foot again, and he is on top of the world because he was given a moment. He delivered in the moment. And when you think about the New York Yankees, they needed that 3-run homer to even have a chance for this fourth game. And here's what he did leading up to it. He single-handedly is changing the narrative, but that narrative needs to grow. And for it to grow, they got to keep playing baseball to force a Game 5. And I think for Aaron Judge, he realizes that moment didn't slip him by.
Well, as far as the Game 4 starter goes, that's the reason why it was so tantalizing. Think about if you're the Yankees, you just win one. Cam Schlittler, who is a folk hero around here after what he did keeping their season alive last week.
Yeah, you can go all the way back to that game and say this young man's been pitching for 10 years. He hasn't. His introduction to the postseason was unbelievable. It's unmatched. It's never been done. And I think for him, he's the confidence you need to pitch him and the Yankees to a Game 5. He has been unbelievable with his fastball, and we're going to know a lot in the first inning if he's back to that same mode.
So if I'm the Yankees, I'm feeling good. If I'm the Blue Jays, I'm saying, oh boy, we got to keep on playing, and we got a bullpen game, and the bullpen's given up 13 runs the last 2 games.
Yeah, what seemed like innocent were 2 dominated starters for Toronto. The bullpen was just filling the gap because the games were not close. But those insignificant moments and those at-bats that the Yankees got has proved to be a big thing. And they have gotten to the bullpen to a tune of 8.76 ERA, and you think this is a strength of their club. Well, that strength's going to have to come into play big time. The offense is doing their thing. It's the bullpen that needs to be just a little bit better.
Well, the way this race went all summer with these teams tying 94 wins apiece, it couldn't end in a sweep, right? We got to keep it going. We will at least to this Game 4. The Yankees try to make it Game 5 in Toronto on Friday night. The Yankees were on the wrong side of a defensive misplay that led to a 5-run comeback that ended their season a year ago. On the right side of a defensive misplay last night opened the door for a 5-run comeback to extend their season. And it extends our chance to see Aaron Judge and Vlad Guerrero Jr. do their thing head-to-head. Man, these guys have been awesome. What do they have in store for Game 4, the Division Series, coming up next? Well, the baseball season in New York has lived to see another day. It was unseasonably warm the last couple of days, but a postseason chill in the air tonight. Game 4 of the Division Series. The New York Yankees, the Toronto Blue Jays, 68 degrees. It is a bit breezy. That played a role in yesterday's game. It'll be a bullpen game for these Blue Jays, and Louis Varland, who came on and was so good in Toronto, he gave up the home run to Judge that tied the game. That was the 3rd home run that he's given up to Judge in his career. And then he gave up the home run to Jazz Chisholm to put the Yankees ahead for the first time in this series. And it's going to be Varland to start this bullpen game right back in the saddle, Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Louis Varland allowed those 2 big home runs last night, but he will make a bit of history tonight, becoming the first pitcher to lose a decision in the postseason and then start the very next day. When Blue Jays manager John Schneider raised the possibility with Varland, his reaction was, give me the ball. Varland likely will go 1 or 2 innings. From there, Schneider will manage his bullpen according to the score and where the Yankees are in their lineup. In that bullpen, Trey Savage is more likely to pitch than Kevin Gausman, who would remain available to start a potential Game 5 on an extra day's rest. Savage could go 2 innings, ideally entering against the top of the Yankees order if the Blue Jays are in position to win the game. Joe?
All right, Kenny, and so that is how the plan is laid. John Schneider will read and react as this game goes on. We take you to today's same-game parlay, available now on FanDuel. Seems like a pretty safe bet that Vlad Jr. is going to get a hit. He's got 8 of them over the first 3 games. Chisholm hit his first home run of the postseason last night, and Cam Schlittler only needed to get him half of the total that he had against Boston last week. Speaking of that, Fox Foresight is powered by Google Cloud. Those 12 Ks to no walks against Boston. A different challenge today, though, against this Toronto lineup, which showed some strikeout problems in last night's game for the first time in this series. 7 Ks the first 2 games, 11 Ks last night, as we thank Google Cloud for powering these real-time insights. So here we